It's usually about the hook, the main premise of the story. So in the case of Such a Nice Girl, it was the idea was that if you had two mothers and their two daughters are best friends, or so they think, and then if they realize actually no, they're not best friends, and one of them has already or is trying to really harm the other, what does that do to the friendship? So, on the one hand, it's a mystery thriller where the mothers are trying to find the missing daughters to stop them before things get worse. But on the other hand, it's an exploration of friendship and the strain it puts on a friendship if you know that one of your children has hurt the other, but you don't know which adult child is the victim and which one is the culprit. And it kind of comes from, for me, when my kids were small and if they were in daycare or when they were in early years of school, and if you got called over by the teacher and they would say, "Oh, there's been a biting incident," and you think, "Oh no, please let my kid be the one who was bitten and not the one who did the biting," because nobody wants to be the parent of the kid who's going around biting people. So it's sort of like the adult but murdery version of that. So that premise came first, and then I wanted a setting where, yeah, you can gather a cast of characters. And of course, it's a wedding. So people are drinking late into the night and they can't really remember everything that happened. And they're waking up the next morning and things are coming back in flashback. And also, it's fun to do it as a luxury wedding in this beautiful house with a swimming pool because I love to read or watch TV shows that are very aspirational just for the fun of it, a glimpse into another world that I don't live in. So I really enjoy writing those kind of settings as well. So Siobhan is the main character. We hear from Siobhan's POV through most of the book. And Siobhan, like all my main characters in all my books, she is very, for the want of a better word, just a very normal person. She's your person who could be your best friend or your neighbor or your sister. And of course, yes, she has her flaws, but she is not extremely anything. She's just trying to do her best to run her business, to look out for her daughter. She worries about her daughter. She worries that she's been distant from her daughter unintentionally while she was busy with her business. She worries about a man that her daughter is possibly or maybe not seeing, all this kind of stuff. So she's like all my main characters, probably a version of me, just a regular person. And then her best friend is Grace, and Grace is a little more over the top, I suppose. So the book is set in Ireland, where I'm from, and Siobhan is Irish. Grace is American. And for us in Ireland, anyone who's from America, it's always very exotic and interesting because, like, I remember growing up, there was an American girl moved to our tiny village in Cork, and she was just the most interesting and exotic person ever because we all grew up watching American TV. So that's kind of where that's coming from. So Grace is this fabulous, gorgeous, wealthy woman who lives in Ireland, but her family are from South Carolina. They come from money. And Grace has never really worked. She's quite entitled and she's a bit of a grab everything she wants in life without really stopping to think if it's fair on the people who are ahead of her in the queue when she skips the queue and so on. So she's kind of, we probably all know someone like this, someone who bends the rules to suit themselves and doesn't really worry about what other people think of them. So those are the two main characters, and they're best friends. And through the book, Siobhan starts to see Grace in a different light because of how they're both reacting to the girls being missing and the possibility that one of the girls has hurt the other. And she starts to question things about their friendship. But it is also a theme of us forgiving our friends, and that even when they're flawed, even when we realize actually they can be really annoying, that friendships that have lasted for decades can supersede all of those kind of difficulties that come in their way. So I suppose it is a book about friendship as well as being a mystery thriller.